Hey everyone, we're back with another video. This one has been requested more times than you guys can imagine. Every single video about my prop firm selection now moving forward in 2024. I've made many videos on prop firms and you guys love to see them. They do very, very well. As I know, prop firms are very, very important to a lot of us, for myself and for a lot of you guys there who may be undercapitalized, or maybe you just see the potential with the prop firms like myself. And this video is hopefully going to clear up any bit of confusion you may have, and hopefully I can provide you with the right approach to go forward for the rest of 2024 with your prop firm selection and my risk management protocol with those prop firms. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, guys, I just wanted to quickly let you know I have a free PDF on liquidity concepts, one of my favorite concepts, on the RM Trading website. So make sure you click the link in the description, or you go to www.rmtradinggroup.com. You can just click the red button on the website there, and it will send you the free PDF. It's super in detail. It's a great introduction to liquidity. And again, this is one of my favorite concepts. So without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the video. So if you guys remember in the past prop firm videos, I was talking about skilled funded trader, I was talking about funded engineer, and then I was talking about FTMO. And the firms that I was currently using at that time were FTMO, funded engineer, and then I had a challenge going for SFT. You guys are aware, obviously, SFT went down and funded engineer isn't in the best place right now. So for that reason, I wanted to jump on here and make an updated video. So the best firm to go for in 2024, I'm just going to cut right to it, is FTMO. Yes, there may be other firms like Alpha Capital and these other firms that are new, but sticking to FTMO, in my opinion, is the safest option. I mean, for myself, I've now, if funded engineer goes down, it'll be SFT, it'll be funded engineer, it'll be MFF that have all gone down for me. I've lost multiple six figures in funding from these other firms, and I honestly was prioritizing them more than FTMO. I was funded with FTMO, not max allocation though, and I was going to these other firms because they were cheaper at the time. And I think the whole prop firm thing has shown us one thing. It's just spend the money on the firm that's been around for the longest time. I mean, it's worth it, right? Like if I were to just spend extra from the beginning on FTMO, I wouldn't have ran into the issue of losing multiple six figures in funding and losing, three different challenges, 200K challenges that I had going with these firms that went down. Those are thousands of dollars right there, right? So learn from my mistakes, and maybe you're in the same boat as me as well. Maybe you didn't want to go for FTMO because they were a little bit more expensive. I totally understand, and I totally get that. But to be honest, FTMO is the best one. And the reason is because they've been around for like a decade, right? So they've been around and they never changed the rules up other than the timeline thing. They didn't go changing their targets, nothing. Well, the rest of the industry was doing that. And I think that kind of shows why they're such a dominant firm, because they didn't get tricked. When the competition was doing this and this, they just stayed true because they knew what was sustainable and what wasn't. So if I were you, if you're coming into this journey right now and you want to trade prop firms, just stick with FTMO. And that's the only one that I'm going to be going for personally. I'm going for max allocation right now. I was so close. I was 2% away from passing the challenges, but unfortunately I hit a little bit of a losing streak. So I lost some of those profits. But if you guys are watching this and you've done your challenges, leave a like if you've been so close to passing. And then unfortunately you hit a losing streak and you got knocked back down the ladder a little bit, but it's okay because we're going to go on and we're going to crush it. And the beauty thing about these challenges as well is if you fail a challenge, guess what? You can just go buy a new one and then, keep going. So now you guys are probably wondering, okay, Mac, you want to stick with FTMO. Has your strategy changed towards these challenges? And if it hasn't changed, I'm still doing a 2% risk per trade on the challenges. But in this video, I'm going to give you like a tiered approach for different situations. Okay. So for example, if you don't have the money or the capital to blow on challenges, and maybe this challenge for you is very important and you saved up for a couple weeks or a month's worth of work, and this challenge really matters, then what I would suggest is do a tiered approach with your risk. So what I mean by that is start out with 0.5. Then once you're up 2%, risk 1%. And then once you're up about 4 or 5%, 6%, you can risk 2%. And that makes it a lot easier. So scaled risk, okay? That way you're using the house money, as I say, there's no risk attached. And then when you drop down below break even, then you can go to half risk again. This way, this is how I passed my first challenge, to be honest, and it was the best option. I tried only doing half risk for a while and it took me forever. So adding the tiered risk helps immensely. So believe me, if you're in that situation like I talked about, and you don't want to just go full send the challenge, then do that. And I think it's going to help your psychology a lot because you're not too worried about going into drawdown significantly or anything like that. If a losing streak happens, guess what? You mitigate that by just going to half risk. So that's the tiered approach that I suggest to you. The second approach is the one I'm currently doing, is 2% risk per trade. Now, this is awesome when you are winning because you get to pass them sooner. If you hit a losing streak though, you could fail it sooner. So just know that. Yes, you can pass it quicker. It only takes a couple trades and you pass the challenge. But you can also lose the challenge by hitting a losing streak, risking 2. Like I've failed many challenges by risking 2% and then I go and pass the challenge. But it's a net positive because when you get your payout, it doesn't matter anymore. So have that in mind too. Like when you get your challenge and you get your payout, most likely, depending how many challenges you failed, that first payout is going to make back all the money you spent on these challenges. And that's the beauty thing about it. That's what I really like about them. So remember that 2% risk right off the beginning. I have done where I'm below, I'll bump it to 1%, but with where I'm at currently in my life and my financial situation, I'm blessed and grateful enough that I can just kind of go through these challenges. If I pass them, I pass them. If I fail them, I fail them. It is what it is. To me, time is more valuable, right? So the time that it's taking me to pass these versus, just passing it and getting on with the funded account. So that's kind of how I go about it. Another thing is, I'm just going to tie this to this video because I think it's very important. I suggest all of you that are going for these prop firm challenges, and I know I've said this in a video not too long ago, but I can't stress it enough, start building personal capital because yes, FTMO's been around for the longest, but we don't know how long they're going to be around. They could be around for 10, 20 years. They could be gone next month. They could be gone next year. We don't know, but getting a personal trading account with live capital is extremely important. And it's something that I wish I was doing during the phases while I had the multiple six figures in funding, while I was doing the challenges. I wish I was using the profits and building a personal account. I wasn't. And I wish I was because then I wouldn't have been worried. When I moved into my last apartment or condo, I lost multiple six figures in funding because the firm went down the day I moved there. And it was a very stressful time. Luckily, I wasn't owed anything because I had just got my payout, but still it was a very stressful time. Whereas now I can go about these challenges and not care because I'm trading my personal capital, which is all I really care about anyway. These prop firms are just a bonus at the end of the day. You have to remember that. So they're an amazing opportunity to get started with, but you have to remember that the end goal is to get your personal capital high enough that you can trade, right? And the cool thing about personal capital compared to the funding challenges and the funded accounts is that you have access to all those funds. So say you do hit a losing streak, you're not losing the account after 10%, which happens, it completely happens. And you can also risk a little bit more and not worry about hitting any drawdown rules or anything like that. So it is pretty great. The broker I use, I'm not affiliated or anything. I use Forex.com. I get asked about this all the time. They're a fully 100% regulated broker. So definitely check them out. Stick to a regulated broker, but I know this is a prop firm video, but I had to throw that in because it is extremely important. And honestly, it's something I wish someone told me when I was pursuing these challenges because they're an amazing opportunity and they can bring us so much wealth and so much opportunity, but we have to take advantage of it and be smart with our money. Don't just get a payout and go buy something that you shouldn't be buying at that certain time. It's important to have goals. It's important to want to get materialistic things if they're important to you, but just make sure that you're putting some money away, into these personal accounts and then, have fun with the rest of it, taxes, all that stuff. But yeah, just a quick recap on the video. Sticking to FTMO for the rest of 2024. For me personally, and I think I would recommend it for you too, there is going to be, I'm sure, other firms that pop up that are amazing, don't get me wrong, but for the meantime, and to be safe and to make sure you're not losing, your capital because of firm going down, just stick with FTMO. And then when I am switching to another firm, I'll completely let you guys know what firm, all that stuff. But for now, I'm just rocking with FTMO. They have been around the longest. If you want to do research, Fivers is very good too, I heard. So you can do research on them. I haven't used them though, so I'm not going to be recommending them in today's video. But 5%ers I've heard have been around for a while and are pretty legit. So that's that part, okay? And then remember the tiered approach. If you don't want to lose your challenge, if it's very, very important to you, start off with half risk. Then once you're up 2%, jump to 1%. Then once you're up about 4% to 6%, you can risk 2% because you're always using that house money. So you're playing offense mode, and then when you're below the goal line, you can play defense mode. So that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It has been requested like crazy. You wouldn't believe it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you stayed to the end, please drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. It means the world. And what do I say at the end of every single video? Let's be 1% better every single day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.